Okay, so BlizzCon already started. Okay, BlizzCon already started, and we're gonna. I mean, it was just. It's just the. Oh, that's loud. Okay, so right now.
It is the honor of my professional life to serve you, and the honor of all of us at Blizzard to be the caretakers.
Yeah. This is just an opening ceremony.
We are so excited for what's to come this year.
So
Next year,
this is the part where.
Now, what's coming next for the show? Well, it depends on where you watch. For those of you looking for an update on Overwatch, check out the behind-the-scenes look into the development of Overwatch 2 over on their dedicated channel right after the conclusion of opening ceremonies. There,
Moment of truth. Oh! Okay, sorry, I'm back. Okay. How long? We got... So the animation is... We're gonna see an animation for 30th anniversary. Okay, we got 3 minutes. What's going on here? Just, Okay. Okay, this is where we like okay, this is gonna be... I like this music, bro. It's a jam. Okay, we got 2 minutes. Okay, I'm hoping for when we get to the behind the scenes, they're leaving. Here's the thing. What we get behind the scenes of Overwatch 2. Sneak peek behind the scenes and we'll join them as they dive into the development process. Okay, this is where we're gonna be like told about like how the game's doing and like where it is in progress, and if they have any big announcements like heroes or anything, or I'm thinking like some kind of beta, like a beta announcement, not like that full game, but like an announcement for an open beta. I'm thinking that's gonna be at the very end, and I'm pretty sure it goes tomorrow too, actually. Okay. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna get the animation in 5 minutes. We're gonna get behind the scenes.
Hey, loser.
Yo. Someone literally just botted my stream.
Nice.
I went up to 10 viewers and then dropped down to 6. Unless it's genuine viewers, I don't know. I'm streaming BlizzCon. Yeah.
Streaming BlizzCon.
Yeah, I'm reacting to. Hey, here we go. Shush. I'll kick you from the Discord.
But you're streaming BlizzCon.
Yes. Reacting.
Okay, just curious. I might be back.
I'm king of the world.
What is this, bro? What the hell is this? Oh, I know nothing about WoW. Some like WoW meme or something. I don't know. I know nothing about WoW.
What can I do for you? 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 What can I do? Your death will.
Oh, is this Diablo, bro? Is that what it is? Is that how you play it?
Morta Vespa Gaia Inu. Strike with great vengeance. You are not prepared. Frostborn hungers for your soul. Your time has come.
Okay, this animation style is pretty cool. Overwatch is gonna be last, I think. This reminds me of those like web browser games I used to play as a kid, like animation style.
Strange. Greetings to you. Seems you're ready for the real thing.
Yeah, I knew it.
Watch your
Oh my god.
Hey, look at me.
Oh, looks like we got an audience.
I'm getting good at this. I am in the groove.
turret online.
Surprise! Piece of cake.
Okay, that's the whole animation. That was actually really sick. Hey, oh, it's actually time for the behind the scenes Overwatch 2 to start. Oh, let's go. Cutscene? Oh, I thought it was gonna be I thought that was gonna be an animation. Maybe?
Welcome everybody to Blizzcon. We know that you all want to hear more about Overwatch 2. Allow us to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing and why.
Everybody, please hit record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
It's off to a good start.
This is going great.
We've been assembling one of the best teams that I have ever worked with,
I'm nervous.
and I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
We really liked the stylized drop down.
Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom, just starts to spin.
The scale and the scope of this game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to do. Sorry. Let me start.
Overall, I think we've done incredibly well as a team moving to work from home.
Oh, shadow play.
There have definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything we've got behind this game.
So we're gonna get Overwatch 2? Is that what we're
Step in the
hearing?
Overwatch universe, new heroes.
Oh,
game
Sojourn.
modes,
Okay, we're getting Sojourn by the end of the BlizzCon. No way. No way we're not.
In PvE,
We're getting
I
Sojourn.
see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for all of my friends.
You know, we're always inspired by what story and franchise development does with their animated shorts. We really wanted to bring that cinematic experience into the game.
You can invest in your heroes and grow them over time. I'm super geeked out about Overwatch 2.
I can't wait for people to play this game. It just gets better and better.
Okay, we're getting a
There are
lot
some
more
things that we
clips.
just can't do without
This
a
is
team.
good.
So thank you so much for your patience so far.
Overwatch
and
2?
I hope you enjoy this behind the scenes look at Overwatch 2.
Open beta?
All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
Really, I can just talk about.
Yo,
these
it's
things
me,
that I
bruh.
want to.
Aaron.
Yeah,
That's my
You're
name.
Serving this
That's the
up
same
to the
name.
guy
He's
that
automatically
has,
cool.
like,
That's cool.
Unintentionally leaked information in past interviews.
You can do it officially now.
Okay, so one of the maps that I'm most excited for in Overwatch 2 is our Rome map.
Okay. Oh my god, that looks sick.
We always want Overwatch to feel like this globe-trotting adventure for our players. So we're having a lot of fun coming up with the Overwatch version of Rome.
We wanted a very romantic, sort of this powerful feeling of old world architecture.
Oh, this looks sick. This looks like such a
Early
detailed map.
building of these
Oh,
maps, where we get
okay,
to
that,
sit down
okay.
together
Oh yeah,
with
that makes sense. That was like
from
the,
environment team,
that's like,
level designers,
it-
effects groups.
yeah,
We
this is,
spend some time talking about moments in the game that we really want to see.
like the Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over, or we'll do a concept painting of certain things based on that.
We try to draw inspiration from as many different sources as possible. For example, one of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited to work on a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of ancient architecture in Rome that represents the empire that it used to be. So we brought some of that back. Some of the things that are destroyed in real life, we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
It's one of the most beautiful pieces of environment art.
Okay, this map looks so good.
For the entire game, and it just absolutely took my breath away.
This map looks so good. It looks like it's gonna be a payload though. Circle right there.
Yes, Scott. Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you reveal? Like, is there an artified? Like, let's pick an artified one.
I know what map I want to talk about. It's the one that I just get super excited about. New York City. New York City is just
all the bangers.
An amazing Overwatch location.
We're really striving to make it as authentic as possible while still putting this Overwatch spin on it.
There's a lot of amazing buildings and architecture pieces that just, especially for artists, stands out a lot, and they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
We started in
this
a little bit like the Village. There's some smaller shops there. There's a fire station, little pizza places, and things that people that are familiar with New York City will either recognize or maybe see the reference that we're trying to make with some of our different locations. It feels like something you haven't seen in other games before because it's uniquely Overwatch.
Well, we should move on. Otherwise, we just have to reveal more maps. So we were talking about PvP, and you know, one thing that I think is really interesting about PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're making to the approach.
PvP feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps, it's a pretty big departure from where we are on live right now. So I can't wait to see where we end up with it by the time we launch this thing.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives, which are passive abilities that a hero can have based on what role they are. For example, currently in our internal builds,
that actually sounds real.
All have knockback reduction against them.
That
they
just
also generate less ultimate charge
adds
time
another layer of like
heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the
a
map.
layer of
and,
stuff you can.
Support heroes have automatic healing that kicks in after they take damage for a while. Very similar to
that's just
but a little bit of a lower rate.
One of the more shocking changes
that's just gonna make it the game so much more like it's great.
Is it changed the tank role entirely. That's applied to all of the tanks. We want to try to make them more toe-to-toe brawlers and less characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strike, so we can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively and more often.
Oh, that's actually gonna help Reinhardt.
Cancel it now, and you can steer it more aggressively, so you can, you know, not quite turn a corner, but you can definitely more accurately pin targets. And because you can cancel it, it allows you to use it much more aggressively and, you know, really go after
oh my god, that actually
like you're gonna sacrifice
Reinhardt so
all
much
your
better.
To get there.
Oh,
it's almost more terrifying now.
This
with
bro
unleash his full arsenal more often than kind of just being the guy with a shield.
The changes to Reinhardt that we're trying, and they might not ship, that's just the reality, but the changes that we're trying right now are to try to embrace
oh my god, that's actually so good.
That players have when they want to play a big burly character that looks aggressive and feels like it should be aggressive.
That's gonna make it so much better if he can just cancel. Oh, it's an instant.
Shortly after BlizzCon, we spun up this group, our combat field group, to really just work on what happens when a player holds the trigger.
We're putting a ton of effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound to VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system that's driving it. And we didn't just level up a unit, we leveled up the rest of the game.
When we first started working on Overwatch...
Oh, okay, Sojourn's getting released today. They wouldn't show that. There's no way. Sojourn is getting released today. Well, like, not released, maybe announced. We're gonna get a cutscene.
Even kind of small things such as
animation
melee attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio pass and a new kind of feel and visual effect when you hit things.
One of the bigger efforts we're undertaking for Overwatch 2 is what we're calling our Weapon 2.0 Sound Pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon systems in the game. That means the way the gun feels in your hands. You could feel the
that animation just
you're getting lower on the clip. We really tried
new Bastion skin, okay,
to better encapsulate the gameplay and the gunplay that comes with Overwatch 2.
Oh, that's
another key for the weapons was getting them to feel like they're in the environment. This
fine.
Working with convolution reverb.
Oh.
It's a new system that we've implemented into Overwatch. It's a way that we can capture the acoustics of an environment and transport it onto the sounds that we're using. So we went and captured tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots.
Okay, character with a machine gun. Widowmakers.
And then we've cut them and applied it so that we can support a lot more environments. Now we're supporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tales.
Okay, that's just
tight tunnels, small rooms, and it gives a lot more presence to the weapons and the way that they react in the world.
The shooter genre has evolved a lot since Overwatch 1 came out. On top of that, I think we really want to push the visceral nature of how we do combat. So we focused a lot, not just on the wonderful sound effects, but also with how the gun moves as you shoot. You know, so you can really feel every single shot leaving the chamber. And there's a lot of subtle...
Oh, that's satisfying too. Oh my gosh,
the Reaper feel really visceral. Everything
for shot sound.
Sure
oh yeah, they're releasing Sojourn.
Crisp, sure
okay, Sojourn is going to be a DPS.
Exactly, these tight indicators show up on the outside of the all these things play in making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date. Take 76, for example. What we wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with his weapon was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun is almost just outside of your control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time
oh my god, weapon, that's just gonna make
it feel like it's running through your entire body, and the camera shake gives that extra bite to every single shot out of the chamber.
Gives the game such more
really great,
more detail and like depth.
Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's been under development for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of people's favorites in the house.
Okay.
Back at Overwatch when it was originally created, there was a lot of heroes that were made from a gameplay standpoint, kind of surrounding a weapon type. For example, Pharah was based on a rocket launcher hero. Widowmaker is clearly like kind of the sniper. We thought there was a weapon that was kind of missing that would be a lot of fun to play with, and that's a railgun. It's so
oh, never mind. It's not a soul. I thought that was like a Helix rocket.
Really accurate with it.
Oh,
it's all about that aim skill. So
that looks so much fun to play.
We're still exploring new game modes, and we're also reevaluating older game modes that people are more critical of. You know, we're of the mindset maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch 2, and maybe there's a new cool game mode that replaces it. We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution, a true sequel to the first game, not an add-on. It's not a small part. It's not an extension of the original game. This is an evolution and a replacement to the original game, and I think it's exciting.
Okay, if they're putting that much more work in, that's just gonna be better. Not just
missions are
like
probably one of
DLC.
the things that's the hardest to wrap your head around if you've never played one of them.
Okay, this is actually gonna be thick. This is like a full-on.
The goal around hero missions is for these to be this co-op PvE experience.
I personally only play competitive mode. Like, I'm all about that competition. And I have friends that they don't want to do that at all. So I'm really looking forward to a game that I can play hours and hours with my friends who aren't in competitive. And it's also something that I'm interested in.
Okay, this actually looks
Hero
like
missions are the content
enjoyable.
that we're playing.
And I'm pretty
as
sure
they
there's
are
different
leveling up their heroes.
actually,
So
like,
for a system like this to really sing, you need a lot of mission. We don't want players to feel like
so they're
just
doing
in
a
this grind to
big
get to the top.
campaign.
And there's a lot of really, really good.
That's gonna be
back-end
really
technology
good.
that we're exploring, so that the heroes are constantly bringing their personality and some light story to these hero missions as well.
The goal
Oh, this
is
isn't
to
even.
make
There's just
as
hero
many as
missions.
possible.
Like
Hundreds of hero missions.
the campaign.
We've explored a
Hundreds
lot
of
of different
missions,
ways
bruh.
of getting to that much content. So
Okay,
like,
this is why it's taking so
different
long
sets
for the
of
game.
enemy units that people will be fighting against, and there's different hero mission types. At the same time, hero missions can take place in all of the multiplayer maps that we've done, and we're also adding new spaces onto some of these maps.
Oh, King's Row update? Row doesn't need an
It's a
update,
huge
but okay.
challenge for the art team. We take maps that a lot of people love and recognize, and we have to add a lot more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in King's Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly that gate opened and I saw a new area of King's Row that I had never seen before.
You may be playing a payload game type, and the payload may decide to take this
Wait, the
new
payload's
route
going the
instead
opposite
of
direction?
going the usual route.
That was really, really cool. It was
Oh.
like this eye-opening special moment.
Okay, that's just gonna make the game spice and every round different. Oh.
And our lead tech artist
Oh.
on the environment side, very early on our own free
It's just gonna
time,
look
made a
so
prototype
good.
of
Overwatch looks so good
Sandstorm
already.
on the Temple of Anubis map.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
It looked awesome.
We looked at it and went, oh my god, we absolutely have to do this.
So we put some new technology in place that allows us to do this dynamically. You start the mission off, clear day. Midway through the mission, suddenly this
Okay,
sandstorm or
what
heavy
map is
weather
this?
will show
What
up.
map is
It
this?
made the world just feel so much more alive.
Oh my god, that map looks okay. That's
There's
another map.
Sunset, daytime, nighttime, but depending on where you are in the world, these look different.
That's an update
California
too.
Or Hollywood would have what we call a California sun.
Oh
New
my god,
Orleans,
the
there's a
third one
great
there looks so.
African sun that happens there. You start getting a sense of space and mood. This is what really
Okay,
brings
Paris
the levels
update.
to life.
Paris update.
For me, the dynamic world's exciting. Just seeing these dramatic landscapes, the
Toronto
wind,
map?
the atmosphere blowing by. It's a much more cinematic experience for the player.
Before you start a mission, you look at a map. It's nighttime in Necropolis, or there's a sandstorm in Necropolis. Players can make some comp choices based on knowing this information. Characters like Hanzo or Widowmaker start to be a little more valuable because they have abilities that allow them to see through the sand more clearly.
Are we going to talk about any of the types of objectives in hero missions?
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things from one hero mission to the next so that they all feel really
Okay,
fresh
if the
to
payload can go
player.
through
For
places like
example,
that,
we
that's
have
sick.
Gather and Return, where you're trying to go grab these different canisters to kind of safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where, on the one hand, you're trying to split up and go grab all these canisters to be as efficient as possible, but at the same time, now you're having these sort of special enemy units spawn that are really difficult, and if you kind of get caught by yourself, it turns into a pretty bad situation really quickly, and it feels extremely cooperative and like a very
And that
different
actually
way
looks
to
difficult.
interact
That's
with
gonna
Overwatch
bring some
heroes.
actual like challenge to it.
We're experimenting with all sorts of ideas, and just internally we have names like Wall of Death, Scavenger Hunt, and Kill Quest, and all these new mechanics and enemies for people to experience. Players will be able to jump in night after night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
At BlizzCon in 2019, we started to talk about progression, and we showed the very early version of our talent system, which I think was really cool. We had that one talent where like became the rolling snowball, which was a big hit. We've really blown that system out.
I'm real excited about talents. You can play the same hero in so many different ways. Now with the skill tree, you can have fun every night doing different things and kind of experimenting.
Yeah, the talent
Oh
system
my
is,
god.
like, really deep.
That's so
detailed.
so many. Okay, this is gonna bring so much. It's gonna change the entire game.
And as you're leveling and picking new talents,
There's different
you're starting to
classes
feel
for each
your hero
character?
change. We've had some pretty hilarious versions of the healing one where his biotic field travels with him. It also repulses enemies. We called it the snowplow build, where 76 is like running through spaces, pushing enemies away from them.
Designing these is super fun because it's like we get to break all the rules that we've sort of established for ourselves, and we get to really take the gloves off and do crazy things.
Oh,
like
Mercy.
And dual-wield grenade launchers, and have Mercy be able to area effect res their whole team at once at super long range through walls. It's been a ton of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff.
I know it's
You're all used
PvE,
to
but
using
the
kinetic
Mercy,
weapons
no,
like Soldier
not
76
AoE res,
or
not again.
Attack like what Reinhardt's Flame Strike does. As soon as you start to mutate these things with talents, all of a sudden maybe you're doing freeze damage or electrical damage. But it gives the animators a bunch of crazy opportunities. You know, the animations are going to change to show them freezing and shattering. And if you shock something with a lightning attack, it can shake in place and stun, maybe chain to other enemies. All sorts of stuff to make you feel like you're controlling the battlefield in novel ways.
As a huge RPG nerd myself, the first time I opened up the talent tree systems, it was like, oh my gosh, this is speaking my love language. Like, I just want to plan, and I want to see, like, where do I want to invest, and how am I going to play this character?
Yes, it's so great. And
you pin
start at
multiple
the bottom
people.
of the tree. Like,
Yes,
oh my,
exactly.
Like, Tracer gets to do what?
Yeah.
And then you start working and kind of planning how you're going to get down there. It's like, oh, it's so fun.
When we look back at BlizzCon 2019 and we talk about some of the criticisms that we had, one of them as a development team that we felt was that the combat was just not engaging enough. So the fact that our combat wasn't highly engaging to us as players meant that we had a problem with the enemy units and that they just weren't feeling interesting enough.
Just because we show something to the public, it doesn't mean that that is what it's going to be. If we make discoveries where things aren't working how we want, they're not reading how we want, they're not fun enough, we're totally down to reinvestigate, reiterate, and just really find ways to level kind of all aspects of things until they feel good.
I would say a major focus of all of 2020 was to make the null sector enemy units more engaging. And some of this was adding new units and evolving other units that we had.
Interesting combat for us is varied combat for us. So sometimes we're going to ask you to protect something in Overwatch 2. Sometimes we're just going to ask you to get someplace. Sometimes we might ask you to escort something across a map while it's being attacked. And so it's a different type of spawning, and it's a different type of units that are in there, and it's a simpler objective.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them. It's really going to help a lot of us find the fun and make sure that Overwatch 2 is a blast.
One of those sets of enemies is what we internally call objective units. And they're typically units that don't even attack players. The simplest version would be something like the Breacher.
It's two legs with this huge bomb on its back. It was built to do one thing: slowly and methodically march towards its objective, and then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower, starts spinning and charging up, and you hear this awesome sound, and you know you have a little bit of time before it's going to explode and you have to take it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens. They're little chicken sometimes. They run really fast. You know, we have a guy we're experimenting with right now who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from because they're super deadly. So you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the polar. You could be moving through these darker alleys, and as soon as you hear that polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant-looking character that's blindfolded, 3 orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we basically spun those orbs around her head as a big tell, launched them at the player, and then it activates this tractor beam, and it's bringing you in, and then you get this awesome like anticipation of the hair opening up so you know what's about to happen.
One thing we've just recently been experimenting with is this idea of elite units. We didn't want the elite units to feel like they're just, oh, this guy's got double health and double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and have different attacks. So, for example, an Omnic Grunt Normally, he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply. If you fight elite grunts, his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close. And if you manage to take them out, they don't just die right away. They instead can crawl on the ground towards you, and you try to back away because if they get to you, they can explode.
Artillery at BlizzCon. We're all just staring at this, and we're like, what are we gonna do to level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently it's not reading as something that can happen in the game easily.
We change the design, we change the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on the spinning barrel version. We just did this really nice kickback. The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place and boom!
It's really amazing to be fighting an artillery unit and you can see the guns on the side, and as you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then you can blow them off and it reacts and kind of stumbles to the side, and really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
In a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting null sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find null sector bunched up, marching maybe a half a dozen units abreast. You expect if you shoot one, they're gonna knock into their buddies. So we make that happen. Turns out it's really fun too.
Okay, this is
one of the
exciting.
things that we showed last year at
We got saw
BlizzCon
Genji.
was the new looks for our heroes.
Genji.
The theory kind of going in
Valor
was
Tracer.
like, you want to preserve the essence of your hero, but also kind of show that heroes evolve and kind of change and move forward. So we have a lot more new looks. So I'm excited to see how players and fans react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
Maybe we'll share some of those new looks today, which would be cool.
We're going to reveal McCree's new look for Overwatch 2 as well as Pharah. And we're really excited to show off some of our first villains with Reaper and Widowmaker. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about technical wear, kind of like technical clothing. What that really is using very techie fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that is very aesthetically pleasing. With McCree, we took a couple of different approaches. He's got this classic cowboy look that it's really hard to mess with, because if you try to make him too sophisticated or too techie, it might not feel right for the character. But as a concept artist, you always want to change things around and try different shapes and silhouettes, so we did identify as Red Serape as the main thing for McCree. We also tried a couple different things with McCree's cowboy hat. We didn't really want to mess with that too much because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another piece that we kept. We tried some retro cowboy looks that mixed in some tech here and there. Some that were a little bit more techie than others, some that were a little bit more classic cowboy. We gave him a little bit of a longer beard, and it really gives him.
I'm starting to realize how Cyberpunk just stole McCree. That's the entire game.
Some of our other heroes.
Cyberpunk is just a bunch of McCrees walking around.
We didn't want to change her silhouette too much. It was more about experimenting on different colors. So it felt really appropriate for her to be the one to harken back to those original colors of white and blue. One of the things that we wanted to update on Pharah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit now allows us to see some more of her emotions. Reaper was actually the ones I was very excited to
Ooh,
work
that
on.
looks.
I could see a lot of potential in how we can integrate his cloak and his cowl and his armor, and how we can make all those shapes really sing within that classic, Reaper silhouette. We tried a couple takes with the first pass, like completely silver arms, more layers to his jacket. Reaper's mask is obviously pretty sacred to us, but the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver. Instead of the bone white, he's got this almost like deadly edgy silver that just gives him that classic Reaper look. With Widowmaker, we started with the IDA stage, exploring a breadth of
this
ideas.
just looks cool.
We tried things like a more insectoid approach, treasure hunter, One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more cyberpunk-looking ones, almost like a futuristic femme fatale, which is basically what Widowmaker is, but she even feels more upgraded, so I'm super glad that we went down this route. We played with different hairstyles too. Widowmaker has the really long ponytail that's really a key part of her look, and we really liked the hairstyle on one of the designs that was more of a braid, and it was really interesting look that also preserves Widowmaker's original silhouette with that long ponytail.
We've been working a lot with our domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this cloth tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're going to be able to get really close to these characters, and it's going to feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and the effort to invest in the technology, and that way we can make these characters do more things that we haven't really been able to do before.
It's been super exciting working on the new looks for Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't wait to show off more in the future.
Overwatch 2 is probably the largest opportunity we've had since the inception of the franchise to really expand what Overwatch even means to our players. In 0 Hour, we saw that some of the heroes got back together, but we're also seeing that there seems to be a second huge Omnic uprising. We're going to learn who's behind that uprising, why that's happening, how globally spread is it.
The story and franchise development group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story is that we were going to tell for this game.
We have a lot of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros for every one of our story missions.
It's been really great to see this collaboration grow and develop. The story is just a little more integrated into our missions than it ever really has been before. All the available heroes get dialogue for a given mission. We have NPCs, we have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players to interact with each other or parts of the environment or other characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future. So how do you take that bright, shiny future and create conflict in it? How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to overcome in Overwatch 2 are things that they haven't ever dealt with before or dealt with on this scale. So what we had to do was literally strip it down to those bare bones of where are these characters in their lives. Overwatch has been disbanded, and now there's a situation where the world's in trouble again, and the world needs the heroes again, but they're not allowed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing.
We started to book these off-site locations so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards, and we would just write every day story beats with the characters and who was doing what and where, and oh my gosh, we forgot this character.
We had these giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with a bunch of notes on it. You know, somebody say, well, what if we moved Rio to the end, and they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the end.
And we did this for a while, until we all felt that it was pretty close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction of where we wanted this process to go.
Ultimately, we come up with something that we think is right for the game, and then we pitch it back to the game team, and they point out everything that we missed.
And that allows us to actually back up and go and make it right and make it better.
Because the scale of this story is so huge, it takes place over the whole world, basically. It just requires a constant iteration, constant refinement to make the story as best as we can make it.
From writing, we go to storyboards. The storyboards get crafted with the edit. From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh it out in 3D. Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the animation department. And then we end up going right into the game engine.
One of our challenges was to figure out how to integrate this story and this narrative with the gameplay.
Or Bastion.
The intro cinematic ends with this huge battle, this huge war. When you get into the game, it has to mesh and feel the exact same way and blend together.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission. Adam Burgess, our lead composer, has been working with the IGC team, with the game team, developing themes for all of the heroes, all of the locations.
As the cinematic director, whatever we're crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the player's experience going from the cinematic to the gameplay is seamless and it feels like a completely immersive experience.
The engineers, we have to find a way to actually make that come to fruition. The choreo tool is a tool that allows people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes. And so that kind of event needs to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early, then you don't see it. It allows story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
The new tech, the new abilities that we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than we could have previously.
What's also really powerful about choreo is that, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the Widowmaker making this awesome introduction. Casey was able to quickly put a really rough prototype in choreo. And Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take weeks. It was done in like a matter of days.
Each story mission has its own custom map built for it, and these maps are absolutely gigantic.
India is one of our biggest maps, and it's a fun map because it has a few story beats that we've taken from recent comics and characters in the game.
We've written a history for each city so that the cities feel lived in. And I think that informs the artists so that they know what it is that the city has been through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show Torbjorn's workshop. We created a space that kind of fits his height. So there's, step ladders and scalable tables. We designed the space as if we were Torbjorn. Molten steel is pouring out of walls. It's pretty epic when you walk into it. Toronto was under siege by Null Sector when the players arrived here. There's a dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through.
In Overwatch 2, we want to give you choice to be able to play this character or that character. So we're designing a lot of systems around how their relationships develop over the course of the story missions in the campaign.
We have a cast of many characters, all on screen, all at the same time. And it's fantastic to actually see them all interacting and working together in ways that we've never actually seen. We've always thought about it and hoped for it, but now it's actually happening.
It actually requires us to have a whole new branching dialogue system. If you happen to have Genji and Mercy in the second mission of the game, you might get different dialogue that's about their relationship.
Our voice actors bring the characters to life in ways that everybody has fallen in love with, from inside Blizzard to the fans. Just to hear this collection of actors all together, all interacting, has been a real treat.
I wish people could see how many people are involved when it comes to something like telling the story of Overwatch. It doesn't just come from a singular person, it comes from a group. And it's a really talented, fun group that all works together.
We've been developing what we hope is one of the best stories ever. There's some key story moments that I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
We've been talking about the game, about this universe. I know you all love it so much.
Right now, we can sit down and have a night of Overwatch 2 and have it be a really fun experience. And I think we need some more time till we can say it's perfectly polished in the way that we want it.
We've made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at Blizzcon in 2019.
The thing that I'm most excited about.
So it's very fun and playable. So that means beta, and it's just not finished yet. So the alpha is
really touches
beta.
people.
I'm at the
That's why
beta.
we do it.
We're gonna get a
create
beta,
the
right?
game because we want it to become part of your life, and for you to experience it.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
The new tech and the new aesthetics for the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started.
The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell stories.
We want this dynamic world. We want things to feel alive.
I'm really looking forward to being able to expand the world of Overwatch for our players.
We're really trying to tell this epic story.
In order to make a game great, it takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists and engineers.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for Overwatch 2 to be the worthy successor to the first game, to be the next evolution, and to be a true sequel.
We have big plans, so thank you for sticking with us.
We're going to cross the finish line, and I know it's going to be awesome.
I hope people just end up loving playing it over and over.
That's what we want to try and capture. I'm jumping in, I'm playing. Let's go be heroes.
Yep, not really. Damn it. Okay, when's the next thing? So this is 7 for voices. We're gonna get to this part's always fun.
Partner of BlizzCon Line.
The next part is always so
the
fun.
World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Dolby Access app. Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon Line.
Who's ready for some fireworks?
You'll like this one.
Greetings. Our fates are entwined.
Rally at my position. I feel unstoppable.
The best gets better. Let me show you how it's done.
Turning up the heat. I'm ready. Give me your best shot.
새해 복 많이 받으세요. You can't catch me.
I've got you in my sights.
Now we're moving.
There ain't mine, ain't it, I?
Oh, this is just the bounty hunter game mode, I'm pretty sure.
I've still got it.
Wait, what? Yeah. But we're gonna get places. Oh. Yep.
Hello and welcome to BlizzCon Line. My name is Andrea Toyas. I'm the Senior Casting and Voice Director at Blizzard. It's my great honor and privilege to be charged with finding all the great voices for your favorite games and bringing them to life in the studio. And today, I'm losing my mind with joy because I'm in shock that we get to do yet another voice actor panel, Voices of Overwatch, featuring our beloved characters from our most beloved game.
Question
I know it's
is,
crazy times,
what
I know it's
characters?
uncertain and
I'm
scary and
thinking
hard, but just know that we at Blizzard and all of our actors and people that we work with think of you and love you every day, and I know that you know that I mean that. So here we are now with Voices of Overwatch.
Echo,
And
maybe?
on top of that, I want to tell you something else because I feel like I have to talk about this. Look what they've. Can you see? I hope the camera gets what they've done. The books, the
Reaper,
pants, the
maybe?
table, those are the
I don't think
exact
we've
chairs
gotten
I
the
wanted,
Reaper.
the exact rug.
That's Reaper.
There's ancient scrolls. There's a fireplace. They love you so much and believe in us and this voice actor panel so much they did this. So I just want to give mad gratitude and love to the BlizzCon events team because they did this. They gave us this space and they're giving us this time because they know that without you, those of you who care about the voice actor panels, none of us would be here. So I love you. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great panel. We've got a great show ahead. And welcome to the Voices of Overwatch voice actor panel for BlizzCon line. I mean, I wish you were all here right now because I can literally, I've got chills. To look around the room and see these people here, it just seems like a dream. This is not going to feel real till we go home tonight. It's not going to feel real. And you guys, usually I like to do my big surprise, who's behind door number 1, but unless they walk through the library, that wasn't going to work. So here's the grand reveal of all of our wonderful participants. So
they're ones from previous years.
On the stage, but let me go through introductions just to kind of
Was
get
not
us
expecting
on the
that.
same page. So of course, we could not have an Overwatch panel without the mayor of BlizzCon himself, Lord Darren DePaul, also known as Reinhardt. There we go. You at home, you got to clap. You're not here.
I don't have it. I would hit a cameraman if I threw candy. It's not happening.
I know.
Hi, I'm Darren.
Yay! That's right. I forgot to say you guys have to clap for us because usually you're right in front of me with your big smiling faces, but you're not here, so you got to promise me that you're clapping at home.
Oh yeah, definitely. Clapping right
And
now.
of course, we have to have our beloved dad. We have to have Soldier 76, also known as Fred Tatasciore. Yay!
Reporting for duty.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Oh my.
And really glad that you let me use the.
Wait, what?
Oh my
Was this
goodness.
filmed a
And
long
then,
time
of
ago? I'm
course,
pretty sure.
our
Didn't he pass
beloved
away?
Power female, totally
Like,
kick-ass.
I
wonderful
guess
in the
maybe
game,
not.
Our delicious diva, also known as Charlotte Chung. Yay!
Not even like trying to.
And then, I mean, again, if
I don't
I
know.
had my way, I'd have the whole cast on this stage. It's so, every year I want you to know, having to work with the Overwatch team in shoes is so difficult. But we just had to get the ones we love them all, but this is who we ended up with. And we've got our fabulous, I don't really think you guys have heard of Matt Mercer before. He's new to the nerd world. So I want to introduce you to Matt Mercer for the first time, also known as McCree.
Happy to be here in Soldier Dad's apartment.
Love it. And then,
Voice is so
and then
good.
we also really wanted to bring somebody new in to
It's
share
such a good
our
voice.
love with
Oh,
you
maybe a
and
new
share
one?
love of her.
Echo?
So I'm so excited, so honored and privileged to introduce you to Jeannie Volet, who plays Echo. So Jeannie.
Yes, let's go.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes. And I know you can't see our fans, but everybody, this is BlizzCon. These are our fans. Let's just pretend they're out there and say, we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. Yes. And then, as you know, I always love to have somebody from the team, so I'm really honored and delighted to bring somebody to you from the Overwatch team, the creative director, Jeff Chamberlain. So this is Jeff Chamberlain. Jeff, everybody. Yes. And
Let's go,
I
Jeff.
never talked about this, but I'm so excited. I never tell you this. I need to tell you I love you more, Jeff. But because Jeff and I worked together for so long, I remember you and I in early StarCraft 2 sessions together. I mean, we go way back. We're OGs together. So it's always really cool to work with Jeff and have him join us. So thanks, Jeff.
My pleasure. It's always fun to, get into the recording booth with you and figure these characters out.
Yeah. Awesome. And Jeff would love to be here, but like all of us, he's got to stay extra safe for his family. Otherwise, he'd be sitting on my lap right now, right, Jeff? I think we'd be cuddling probably, or I'd be, one of those. So I'm really.
Okay,
so
that's
much I
just
wanna talk
weird,
about.
bro.
I wish we had all day. We don't. So I just want to. My goal, as I said earlier in the monologue, is to have you in my living room. So the first thing I want to talk about is how's everybody doing? It's been a tough year. It's been crazy, and I just want to ask everybody. We can go in rotation or talk together. I had a tough year. I'm doing great now. Anytime I get to be with you, I'm great. How's everybody? How you doing? Tell me about how you've been since we last saw you.
I'm fine.
I feel like you're always fine. I can't.
Well, you got
get
to stay
sad?
joyful.
I
I mean,
know.
this has been a time of distance, and yet we still find our connections where we can, whether it's online or just passing someone on the street and waving from a distance. It's sharing our hearts. And that's what I love about what we've created here. And every year we come back to it and add more people that we adore and say, welcome, it's nothing but joy. Welcome to our little world of yes.
I love that. So Darren, how have you been getting by? Like, do you get, I'm sure you get sad, but how do you just joy and gratitude and.
Yeah, we moved to a new house.
Congratulations.
It's like our first adult house ever. But we have an office and we record, and very, very lucky, knock on everything, work keeps going, and that keeps you going. A lot of our friends in the Broadway community have not been working. We lost someone from a show a long time ago yesterday. So we've been losing a lot of our people. And I think you go back to what brings you comfort, and it's spending Zoom calls with those people. It's listening to Leon Redbone and David Byrne and Buster Poindexter, and going back to what I did in college when I had no friends. But it's that reaching for things. Did I play Diablo 3 a lot in the beginning? Yeah.
Yes.
Because that world was the world I liked to run around in and visit little shopkeepers that would go, I will survive if you buy something. And I never buy anything. So there's a little guilt there.
I love
But you know me, I'm just a big mouth stupid.
I love it. And I got to give a shout out. Look at Darren. Even in a pandemic, he's dressed just impeccably. Always. And we found out they make
It's Photoshop.
It's Photoshop. I actually think it's in his pajamas. We found out there's onesies that are suit onesies, you said?
Yeah, pajamas. You can
We need to get a
one suit.
Kickstarter and buy him a whole wardrobe of suit
We got
onesies.
you covered.
Yes.
Yay!
You'll look amazing. It's going to be a Blizzcon Overwatch sleepover next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You always have a bow tie on. Why did you pick the tie?
I changed it up.
Oh.
I had some bow ties earlier, and then I did ties and liked them. My sister has a store, and I call her. She has a high-end men's store, and I'll call her and I'll say, hey, I want this, and I order it, and that's my way of helping her out because business has been rough, and I'm like, give me this.
Is this in New York? Or?
No, she moved to San Antonio, Texas, and she's been in Texas for a long time. My parents had moved. Those are sad stories that we do not want to get into about stuff. But it's still having that connection. Just my father was a clothing designer.
That's right.
And, the Reinhardt voice is kind of him. And
That's right.
So he would like it. He'd go, you look good.
You, you look amazing.
Yes.
You
But bow
always...
ties are good on you as well.
It's so hard not to just bite your face and hug you. I just want to bite you so bad. All of
Many
you.
people say that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, how's everybody else? How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
Hanging in.
Yeah. We're very, very lucky to be able to keep doing this.
Yes.
I've got a toddler. I've been quarantined with a toddler.
Zemo.
He's amazing. Yeah, my little guy, and my wife and I have been having actually a really good time. I mean, it's a handful, but it's been so great to just be able to get out of the recording booth and then just play with him, as opposed to 2 hours of traffic. Not complaining about traffic, just saying it's really a blessing. I mean, I hate what's happening to the world, with the virus and the economic thing and just everything that's happened. But it's been a real blessing to be at home, actually, because I've lived out of my car for so long. And so this has been really nice. I like being at home, growing food, and it's been a real blessing. And like you, getting into all the stuff that was a passion for me early on. Any kind of music or films or
What was your favorite? What are you listening to?
Well, I love the David Byrne stuff that you're talking about. But but there's
American Utopia.
Yeah, all of that.
So good.
But there's just so many things. So it's been a blessing.
I miss seeing you at the gym.
I know. I miss it. We both lived downtown, and we would catch each other at the Y. It was very, very cool.
Wow, Soldier 76 and Reinhardt working out?
we're actually working out at the Y.
Because I want to go there whenever this
We did. I used to live around the corner from Charlotte.
Yeah.
So there's always this little world of
And I would see him walking down the street to the gym.
Wow.
With his gym bag.
3 Overwatch characters all living
in this
close.
one little area. I know, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Tell me what the interaction was like between Soldier 76 and Reinhardt at the gym.
Hey, how are you?
I'm going to pump you up. That was a line another German said.
I'll let you to it. I'm going to hit the pool. All right.
Don't hit it too hard. This was a joke.
No, I get it. Very good.
I hope that exact scene happened.
It did before they threw us out.
Oh my gosh. Well, to Fred's point, I think kids keep you really grounded. I don't have kids, I got pets, which are like my kids, but
Beautiful
kids
pets.
keep you centered though, right?
Yeah, so do pets.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they do. Actually, they do, and it's and you'll be
Yes.
hearing from this one here. It's amazing to try to just have the time to dial in to his thinking and to what he's playing and and seeing this personality and this body just forming right in front of your eyes. It's just astounding. It really is. It's one of the best things, and most challenging too.
Yes.
But it's a happy challenge.
Yes. And I think it reminds us that nothing else matters, I would imagine, with your child. It's talking about forming humans, Charlotte. Charlotte's formed some humans. Tell us,
Need a
Charlotte.
baby diva.
Yes. Tell us.
So.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and going through all of that through the pandemic has been an interesting kind of situation, but a really blessed one because, as
Sasha.
Ed said, we have been able to spend a lot of time with our kids. But this is sort of a full circle moment for me because 5 years ago, at the very first Overwatch panel for Blizzcon, I was here with these lovely gentlemen, and it was, you know, you're telling us to be real.
Absolutely,
so
Mama.
I'm sharing something that I kind of shared on social media, but I had lost a baby 2 weeks before BlizzCon. I had a miscarriage. It was my first pregnancy, and then you look back and you go, you know, at the time things don't make sense, but it does in hindsight. And when I look back and knowing that then I had gotten, you know, sort of rushed into this world of Overwatch and the fans and BlizzCon, and how much it changed my life since then, it all sort of makes sense, the timing of life and whatnot. But I came in with a lot of sadness, actually, at that BlizzCon, but then having met you all, that really just changed my life and in so many ways. I got sat next to Fred, Papa 76.
I love it.
And he was actually my favorite. He voices my favorite character in Call of Duty, and so I was starstruck.
What, Sasha?
And
What have they said so
yes,
far?
and Fred and Matt were going back and forth.
Well,
like, you guys probably don't
they
remember this, but I was in back
said
watching
all
it
the
and you guys were doing voices and
like
stuff,
they
and I was
gave leaks
shaking
for
like
some of the
leaks.
maps.
It was such a
There's definitely a hero. They're gonna announce a hero release for normal Overwatch because it's been too long since we've gotten like an Overwatch update. Like it's been a long time, and they had the character and the abilities of the character in multiple scenes, and they never show characters for release.
None of those nerves.
So I guarantee that character is gonna release like today, or they're gonna announce it today,
especially sitting next to
and it's gonna
Fred,
release for
seeing,
Overwatch 1.
just,
What?
his love for our fans.
Not tonight. Well, they'll announce it probably tonight or tomorrow on the, because BlizzCon goes tomorrow too.
Coming from the loss, and then 5 years later, I made a baby.
They're gonna
last year.
probably
Her name is
announce
Guy,
and
and I
go
made a
with an,
baby this year. Her name is Gal.
Guy and Gal?
Guy and Gal.
which the character has a
Boy
railgun.
and girl. We kept it simple.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this on and I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll be back.
It's definitely just a really heartwarming moment. I'm so glad to be back with all of you, and welcome to Jeannie as well. And yeah, it's been it's so wonderful.
Holy
to be
shit,
back.
Sasha's in stream
We
progress.
made it through. I'm so happy to see you. I want to talk about how you guys were on the original panel, so I want to get into how your lives have changed, and that's such a beautiful story. Before we go there, Jeannie and Matt and Jeff, I mean, how you guys been doing this last year? You've been holding steady, good days, bad days, everything in between days?
Everything and more, and sometimes less.
Yeah.
Obviously, I came into the Overwatch world just as the pandemic hit. I remember
we had a session like right before.
We had a session, and there was a TV in the kitchen at LA Studios, and we could see these cruise liners being docked, you know, and people being, and we're watching it, just going, what's going on? This is absolutely crazy, not knowing that the whole city, the whole country was going to shut down, and so it kind of felt not anticlimactic. It just, I didn't know what to expect. So it almost gave me this extra space, you know, to sit into what this world could potentially be, and
I'm back.
And to brace myself for that communication and that connection with the fans,
just joined
which
and said,
has
Sasha's in
really
the
been
streaming
quite
channel.
lovely. It's,
Like really
I wasn't sure because I'm quite a private person,
Oh.
and I'm quite shy in my own world. I'm definitely a bit of a hermit.
I never
write
leave.
a lot. That's my other thing. I do a lot of creative
Sure.
writing. So I wasn't sure what was going to come knocking at my door or slide into my DMs, and it has been nothing but joy, as you were saying before, and just knowing how open, how loving, how sharing the whole community has been. It's like,
watch a stream and
wow,
play
we're
the
all
game.
just human beings trying to get through it and find some joy, find some connection. So there are days when I can feel really down, and even though I'm used to spending time on my own, there are days when I'm like, God, I miss everybody. I really just want to communicate. I want to connect. I want to take those deep dives. And sure enough, there'll be a message. And it's someone who I don't know just saying, hey, this is what's happening with me today. Or you'll never guess what. This happened. Or I'm feeling like this. And at first, I'm not a professional psychiatrist or therapist or any of those things. But so having someone share information during a time when we all really need to share, I was quite scared of giving out information that was like, oh God, what is this going to do then? But realizing it's okay to share a little bit of yourself, like we're doing right now, right? Now more than ever, we're going through it, and we're going to get through it. But there will be days like there are when it's a bit heavy, and then there are days when, I pull my dogs in and I give them a cuddle and I crack open the karaoke mic and I put on YouTube. And all of a sudden I'm like, babe, I'm going to sing badly, okay? And he's like, all right. And I hear his door
Sounds
close.
like we're going to do that soon.
I think we need to do that.
I think we need to do that. Yeah.
I hear his door close over here as well. And then I just bust out some tunes and, music, it really heals. Video games. I am not a gamer, and I think I've said this a lot in social media, but my husband plays a lot of different games, and at Overwatch, I've watched him play, and just storytelling in whatever format. Films, I'm a big film buff. I absolutely love that long, medium format. Animation, my husband's an animator, creative director. So any kind of storytelling to connect us to being human and humanity. That's getting me through right now.
I think you're right. That word connection, I think, is more important than ever. Like I was saying earlier to these guys, and I said on the WoW panel, I'll never take a hug. And any kind of connection, any text, message, anything is so important now. I think it's been hard days, but it slowed us down to remind us what's important. So Matt, how are you doing? I mean, I know you don't really have much to do. You're probably sitting around all the time doing nothing.
Yeah.
Not much in your world that's exciting.
No, I'm hanging in. I feel very lucky that I can still be so busy in this time, but to me it also means it's an opportunity to try and get other people busy as well. It's to a sense connection. A huge part of connection is community, and we all have to rely on each other, especially in times of crisis like this. So it's helping out with mutual aid funds, GoFundMe's that you see in social media. With me and my friends that have our company Critical Role, we finally launched our Critical Role Foundation charity. And are just trying to do what we can to get other people hired and find work and business for other people. And so it's just, it really brings a lot of things into perspective about when you have the opportunity, when you have the platform to use it to lift others up with you, because who knows when you'll need their help to pick you up as well. And that's kind of been a really big, even further clarifying theme in these moments. So that's been very fulfilling, as much as it's been also very tiring. But whereas we don't have any children, we did get a dog.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What kind?
He's a corgi.
Oh, gorgeous.
A Welsh corgi.
That's Blizzard approved.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. I don't think we didn't immediately bring up our molten corgis and WoW and pretend. But we've wanted to get a dog for a long time, and we've just out of the house so often that if we're going to get a dog, we need to spend those first few months that are so important to bond and help raise them properly. And we only really got that with this pandemic, and we were like, well, if this is the time that we're going to be at home to do this, let's do it. So his name's Omar, and he's been a huge anchor in our life through a lot of our anxieties and all the challenges. But moments like this, being able to be in this panel with you wonderful people, to invite you into our crazy, ridiculous family, is very, very much cherishing these moments and appreciative for when they do come. So.
Yes. And for me, my animals, I've got 3 black cats and a dog, and it's like those are my frontline workers, are my animals, because they anchor me. So Jeff, how are you? I mean, Jeff, Blizzard. I feel like all of my friends at Blizzard are working so hard, and Jeff is impossible because your schedule is so full. I think you're working harder now, Jeff. How are you doing? I mean, work and life. How are you?
My boy Jeff.
I mean, obviously, it's a balance between being aware and respectful of everything that's going on in the world, but then also finding the silver lining. So
So on the Overwatch team, we're all on Zoom all day long and meeting up and just cranking through the game and making it as good as we can. The one thing that I actually have enjoyed during all of this is I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and in between meetings I can go in and get a hug or a high five from them. That's awesome. I feel closer to them now than I ever have. Not that I love them more or anything like that, but just that I get to spend more time with them than I did when I was in the office all day. So that's really nice. And also it's the same thing with my wife. And then the other thing I think that's really nice, and some people also mentioned this, is that now everybody's on, some sort of format of communication through their computers. I actually spend more time with my siblings who are all over the country. And just the other day, my son, who's 6, played a board game with my brother, who's much older than 6. So it was just fun to watch. It's fun. And, I reconnected with 2 of my childhood friends who I really don't get an opportunity to talk to that much anymore. But, we get online and talk to each other much more than we ever have before. So I just see it as like a really horrible thing that's going on, but it's forced us to find another way to, enjoy each other. And in some ways, it's actually opened up new avenues to reconnect with people that, we may have lost that opportunity in the past.
Amen to all of that. So I mean, it's just amazing. And so I'm going to ask you quickly, Jeff, and I'm going to talk about what we've been through. Since we're on you, Jeff, I mean, we're all trying to get Overwatch 2 done. I mean, how is it? We were talking on the WoW panel that when we're at Blizzard,
Oh,
we
yeah,
can all
Sasha.
get together, be in the room together, have ideas.
They
go
didn't give us a
coffee, do
release
our
date
thing.
for
We can't do
Overwatch 2.
that now. So
I
what's
kind
it
of
been
figured
like to try to bring Overwatch 2 to life when you're remote and you don't have those same
They
connective
did
tissues
already.
that we had
Well,
around campus? How's that going?
they
And
already
tell us every
went
single
through
secret
like
about
all the
Overwatch 2
behind the
while you're
scenes of
doing it.
Overwatch,
Let's
and then they had like a
spill
Overwatch like
that.
scene thing, and it said
What's it?
Overwatch
Yeah, let's
2,
do it.
and then it had no release date.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you pick up on that. I think when we first started doing this, it was a lot more challenging for us because, we often would get into it, what we would call
Well, it's mainly because
or something like that, and there's just a creative energy.
it's definitely not.
room,
I don't think
and it's like
Overwatch 2 is
okay
coming in
to interrupt people with an
2021.
idea because
There's
I
been
really
leaks
love your
that
idea,
people
and I
saying
think we
they
should
don't
do
think
this,
it's coming
and
in
that sort of thing.
2021.
And as
So
soon as you get online, that's not
I
quite
think
as
they'd
possible
rather
because,
wait to
an interruption online
like
with
or
the
to
audio
announce the
isn't
release
really,
date,
it isn't quite as
so they don't
technical,
just announce it and then have to
but I
delay
think-
it.
So I think we struggled with it initially, but then ultimately, I think we all got used to the format and we found ways to
Aaron, look in
continue
general.
to have those sort of jam sessions. And I'm in them almost all day, every day, and we're just constantly trying to figure out new things and refine things and figure out new story beats and all that stuff. So yeah, I think we've adapted. I guess
Good.
that's the best way.
So how's Overwatch 2 looking? Best thing ever? No
it's gonna be-
secrets. Damn it. Come on, just one secret, Jeff. One secret. Nothing. Doesn't love us. That's fine. Well, I'm so happy, and it's really great. The creativity still goes on. It was hard for me at first, but you know what? It's something to focus on during hard times. But what I want to talk about, the main gist of this panel was, so the reason, obviously Jeannie's new, which is why she's here, but I looked at the panel from 2016 and was like, let's bring the original players back, because I don't think at 2016, any of us really logged in what was going to happen with Overwatch and how our lives were going to change. I mean, I'll never forget one quote I always talk about. Fred, I'm going to quote you. Fred said, Fred does lots of cons, and his wife turned to him and with a Soldier 76 success, said to him, when did you turn into one of the Beatles? Like, so I want to open table this, and then Gina will come to, because I want to talk all about what it's like to come into this family.
It's a strange
but
thing.
You are all like ridiculously loved and famous and cherished and beloved. What's it been like? Tell me, since that panel in 2016, now you're rock stars. We have to, for those of you who've not been to BlizzCon, when Darren was in the Hilton bar one night, we had to form a human shield. We had to form a human shield because we were getting mauled.
We had a tank for the tank.
Yeah, a tank for tank. So,
You were my shield.
yeah. So for anybody, so did you, questions, what was it like? Did you think?
Oh my
Did you,
God.
well, tell me what it's been like.
You did.
Kinda, because I had told you that was my first ever cast panel, ever, and just being there at BlizzCon, and I'd gone the year before just to attend when it was announced. I'm like, this is amazing, and to be announced, and we were all waiting and meeting everybody and being so excited, and I was the second, and Cara Theobald was first, and I had my candy. And I was standing there and I was really nervous and I was kind of tearing up and I was seeing everybody cheer. And I went, the minute you step out there, everything changes. Because I'm like, this is a big thing. We love this so much. We're hoping that they did. But It did. It's this incredible journey that we've gone through. And every year that we return to these characters and kind of don these vocal clothes, again, I keep saying it's joy, and I'm overwhelmed by that. But it became this force for good. And I don't think that's what we expected.
That's right.
That it was this positivity and that we could always be joyful whenever we met, you know, people or doing a Make-A-Wish. I've done 4 Make-A-Wishes. I think we all have done them. And that these characters mean so much to children. And it all started there from, you know, the time when I was like, I'm going to throw candy. My wife said, that's a bad idea. No,
I love
like
that.
that.
And now?
For Halloween, let's just bring candy. It'll be a thing. And it's just always been joyful. So, yeah, I guess in a way I kind of went, everything did change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That day.
I don't think anybody's expected it to be a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we a lot of us have worked in games to an extent, and they can vary on how well they're accepted or people engage with it. But this had such a global impact. And here we are 5 years later, and it still has such an impact, and we're gearing up for the sequel. And along with that joy, it's also a unique responsibility to the point that where the community is looking to us in hard times to be a beacon of light. We're a reminder of joy and a reminder of strength and heroism in a time where that seems to not always be present in a lot of other forms of the media and the world around us. And yeah, it's a video game. It's a work of fiction. But what work of fictions have always done is remind us what we want to achieve, how we want to make things better. It's that inspiration that keeps us thinking about how we can better ourselves and our situation in the world around us. And it's I don't know, I'm very thankful to be a part of this with these wonderful people. And the fact that we can still, all this time later, be inviting amazing new people into this group, this family, to bring their own joy and light to it, and just be so excited for each other and for everyone else in this community to engage with it. It's joyful. Yeah. Once again, you hit it on the nail.
I just need you to say that Overwatch is a million times more important than Critical Role. Can you just say that? I'm just wondering if we can get that on
I am
tape.
legally unable to speak about this.
But I know you think it.
Very different engines.
We could call it Joyful Watch.
Joyful
Watch. Joyful Watch. That's the DLC.
I mean, you and I know what you love the most, so we'll just leave it there. Fine.
I can tell you, Overwatch, much more polished.
Okay. Yeah.
We're a bunch of slapdicks just messing around on the
Well,
internet.
it's still amazing. But I think you hit a good point. Like we always say at Overwatch, it's our vision for a better future, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's really great.
It's what we could be.
What we could be.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it's a force for good, and that how inclusive it is, and how everyone has their own character traits and their abilities and their strengths, and what might be regarded as a weakness is actually a strength. It's pretty astounding, and the fact that it's hit worldwide is crazy. That I could go to the UK or go anywhere and you know, Dubai or whatever, and somebody is saying, yes, I really connected to this character for these reasons.
Yeah.
And it started again as a character that was near and dear to my heart, but I had no idea it would take on this, like you say, a phenomenon. I kind of got a sense when we announced it at BlizzCon that it was such a big deal that time. I was like, oh, this is this is really anticipated. You know, I was a little out of the loop on that, but it's just it has changed my world considerably.
Yes.
Because of just being able to go to conventions and go to these places, the response has just been overwhelming. Crossing barriers of cultures and languages. And being able to joke the things they have me write. It's terrible. I can't repeat some of them right now. And you're right. The Make-A-Wish is the best part of the gig. All of the things that you can, you know, have people focus on and be open about it. It's a really incredible ride. Really.
Well, you are kind of like everybody's dad now. That's a big responsibility.
That was a funny thing too, because that started as a joke. I took it as a character who just cares about his soldiers and cares about everybody. And I took that on as like a coach or a dad. That's how I was playing it in my head. That made sense to me. And that's near and dear to how I feel about everybody in reality. But when they started coming in with all these memes and all these like art, the chef, the dad art, that was fan, even though it was planned that was so much fan influence. I've never worked on a project where the fans had such a say in what went on. You know what I mean? As opposed to, we've worked on other projects where it was like, this is a very private, thing that no one's going to know about, and we're going to surprise them with this. This all of a sudden, it's like, you can make a lot of dad art and jokes, and it's going to show up. Some of these lines are going to show up. You know, that's the other thing. The films. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's next. We just
Yeah.
opened up. I don't think any of us knew, and I'll come to Jeff in a second. None of us knew what was going to come, but I'll circle back with Jeff about from the developer perspective. But Charlotte, I mean, as you kind of covered it a little bit earlier, but again, none of us knew. We were like,
and I'm going to echo what everyone else has been saying, but the global impact that the game has had is something that I completely didn't expect at all. But I think for me personally, what I have gained is a tremendous respect for our cast, and in terms of there is not a single person that I can say is using their platform in a way that is negative or anything like that. I'm really proud to know every cast member. We have like upwards of 30 some.
I don't know how many characters do we have now, Jeff? A lot.
A lot.
87.
87. 87. That's right.
And
Or-
whether it's encouraging, the fans through this global pandemic, or for me, I personally used my platform as a voice for to talk about racial injustice, which is something that with George Floyd and everything came up this year, and I've gotten a lot of people just really reaching out and saying thank you for talking about things or using your platform for to voice the thoughts and the heart of those who are voiceless at times. And so it was something that I was not very much prepared for, but nothing prepares you for this kind of responsibility, as you said. And my son Guy actually, so speaking of all the traveling and everything, I think one of my favorite places that I got to visit because of Overwatch is Kuwait. Kuwait was an amazing experience, and just being able to travel to so many states and so many countries. And my son was traveling with us from 2 months, so he's a con baby.
Yeah.
And now I've got a baby girl who is 2 months now, and can't take her anywhere right now. But hopefully one day she can start traveling with us again when everything, when the world is well. But yeah, I very much proud of being a part of our Overwatch community. And you were talking about the cultural impact as well. The diversity is, something that we always talk about, but it's now with the pandemic and how everybody's it's been a humbling experience, right? We've all I feel like it's just really pared us down as human beings to what's really important.
Absolutely.
And though we are diverse as a cast, I've also seen that the reality is we're more alike than just the diversity that that is obviously beautiful, but we're all human and connected. And so even
Goes for a while.
genre of
Another
video
50
games, at
minutes.
one point it was thought to be something that was a waste of time, or a little of a niche thing, or something.
I want to hear the voice lines and
was
stuff.
like a problem for
Kind
the
of.
young generation. But look at us now. What our game is doing is bringing everybody together and giving people hope in a time and a moment of connection in a time that we really need it. So I feel
Can't
like
do
it. And speaking of which, the Beatles, there was a Rolling Stones article about Overwatch, and they called us the Beatles of video games.
That's right. That's
Ooh.
right. Yeah.
So
I got you in my sights.
Oh, that's what we're gonna have to do. If John Lennon was an Overwatch.
No, not a young man anymore.
I love it.
That's the born Liverpooler.
Now wait, you're like,
Hold on,
I
hold
know.
on. I am actually from Liverpool.
We have a veto.
Liverpool strong.
So beautifully said, Charlotte. So all this being said, and Jeff, I'll come to you in a second, but so beautifully said. But yeah, so Jeannie, walking in this world, I remember I love when I get new actors for Overwatch. I'm like, okay, you have no idea what's about to happen.
Right.
Let me try to prep you best I can. And I think a lot of actors are like, oh, sure. And then the tsunami hits. So walking into what we're talking about, so recently the freshest new member, what's it been like from what I warned you to now? Do you see that I was telling the truth?
You were.
Yes.
You were absolutely sharing the truth. And the one thing that you said, which is so lovely, and it prepared me in such a warm, fuzzy kind of way, was that you said, most IPs, most games out there, they're great. Yeah, you're excited to book a job, and I'm always excited. But you were like, this game is special, and you've really hit something that it's just special. So prepare yourself. And I was like, okay. So obviously, when we were recording Echo's lines and watching the cinematic that came out, everything was just like, oh God, it's pulling on my heartstrings. Oh, she's great. I can really see these things that I have in common with her, or I'd like to be more like her as well. I just got really excited and connected with the character. And then Echo dropped. And then I get this influx of followers, like, that you said, prepare that, clean up your Twitter, clean up your Instagram. And I was like, oh. So yeah, it was a pleasant shock, and one that I'm so grateful for. I feel like I've made so many virtual friends who check in on me daily, and these are people who play the game. They've been playing, for 4 years. They probably met their partner or significant other. They're sharing pictures of their kids with me, and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. In a time when our physical connection,
Not really much interesting to know.
Cut off. So it's been wild. It's been great. The days that I'm not particularly connecting on social media, they're just my days for everyday writing or my other creative pursuits. And then when I hop back on to Instagram's my thing, I feel sort of warm and fuzzy because I see that someone has reached out, and it's really nice for somebody to ask how you're doing, who you don't know. And that's the vibe that I get from all of the community, and also all of the actors, because that's a family that I haven't met physically, and every single one has reached out, said hi, sent an emoji, or we've done some panels
Just check out
virtually,
these.
and man, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky.
It's just, I can't tell you, probably you've all had this experience. I can't tell you how many times getting on Twitter, the love of fans has saved me. I've had really hard days, or the loss of my life or something, and there's been cards that have showed up on just the right day when my heart was breaking. There's been so many miracles from this beautiful family at home that we love so much. So I want to circle back to Jeff. Jeff, from the developer side, I remember in 2014 when we announced it, I was with Metzen backstage. We were like, oh God, I hope they're going to like our new little game. Like, I don't know, is anybody going to like it? So Jeff, from the developer side, what does the team, how does it feel to look back at where we've come, how we started, we weren't sure, and now we've got the pressure of Overwatch 2. From your perspective, your personal involvement, it's exciting, scary, wonderful, in between. How do you feel about it? How's the journey been for you?
Probably all of the above. So, I can remember back to pre-2014 when, this is just an idea that was being pitched by Jeff Kaplan and Chris Metzen. And Jeff Kaplan came over to the cinematics department and pitched to us what Overwatch would be. And, all the values that were in Overwatch really resonated with me. At the time in my career, I was no longer directing. I'd moved into more of a supervisor, creative director type role in cinematics. And I remember after that pitch, I went to my boss and I said, I think I need to get back to directing because I really want to be involved with this. And so I was able to direct the announce piece. And I just remember having discussions with Jeff and Chris about, how do we maintain those values, and how do we make sure that they're present in the cinematic that we're making and all that stuff. And so I'm really proud about all the work that we've done. I'm excited and also anxious to see how people react to the work that we're working on currently for Overwatch 2. I think we're obviously upholding all those values because they're core to Overwatch. One interesting thing that has happened actually is, if we have this bright, shiny future, but we're injecting a story mode into the game, we had to figure out what that means, because you can't have a great story it'd be really hard to make a great story that's always bright and shiny, you know? And so we had this exercise where we had to try to figure out like, okay, exactly how dark can we take Overwatch? You know, obviously it's not, you know, like zombie apocalypse type territory or anything like that. But,
or is
and
it?
so we went through this exercise of like, okay, where do we take it, and what does dark look like in Overwatch, and you know, so we figured that out. I think we found a really nice balance, and now we're just getting it done, basically. So
That's right. Jeff, I can't believe I forgot. Jeff was the cinematic director who did that opening movie with the boys at the museum, the little kids. It's been so long ago. So round of applause. And Jeff, when you were making that piece, I mean, I know that Jeff's an amazing cinematic director, but you probably didn't realize, okay, I'm doing this really cool movie. I don't know how big it's going to be. So now, I mean, that's like one of the seminal pieces for Blizzard Cinematics. At the time, I know you're doing your best work, but did you have any clue where this is going to lead?
I guess yes and no. Like like I said, that presentation that Kaplan and Chris gave, it was extremely inspiring, and it felt really unique and something that was just really inviting to everyone. You know, some of the other values are diversity, as some other people have already said, and so I saw the potential there, and I really believed in what we were doing. So that's the yes part. The no part is just the volume. You know, you never know how well received it's going to be, and you always cross your fingers that it, you know, is well received. And so that part was exciting and you know, inspiring as well.
Yeah, I think you did so well. And I think, Jeannie, that's a piece I showed for you to introduce you to Overwatch as little boys in the museum. And I think we all agree, it still gets me because it makes me feel like a little kid again, right? We can all be heroes. And that line, that's kind of our tagline, but that feels real. Even, and kind of bringing this back to real life, we all right now have to be heroes in our own little way, however we can, you know? And so it's exciting, and I feel so honored as the casting and voice director to be part of this diverse community. It hit me quickly. I want to get back to all of you, but we won some award a couple years ago when Overwatch first came out. I don't know what it was. And one of the heads of Overwatch said, it's great that we've been successful financially, yay for us. What's more important is that the world is resonating with what we're doing because we're trying to show the world that we live in the diversity. We're trying to make the world that we see and be inclusive. And that's when it really hit me, that acceptance speech of like, this is really, it's not just a game, as we're saying, we are trying to represent the world in all of us in all of our shapes and forms. And I know here none of us take that lightly. And I feel like it's a great, Jeff, you probably feel the same from the developer side. It's a big responsibility to write the game, to cast the game, to direct it. I want to get it right so we see ourselves everywhere. You know?
To play off of what Charlotte said earlier, you know, for a long time, video games were seen as cursory, you know, things that got kids in trouble or this thing to waste time. But that for a long time, for as long as I've been an adult practically, it's been proven as art, as a form of highly respectable storytelling and an important form of storytelling. And while there are a lot of games out there, and I've worked on a few of them, that don't treat it with the same level of respect and responsibility, the reason we take so much pride in being part of projects like Overwatch is because everyone behind it sees that. They understand that we have an opportunity here on this global scale to inspire people and to do something really good and really important with what we're making. It is art. It will change people's minds. We have to do it right.
Agreed.
Speaking of representation, to kind of go continue on with that first question you asked about how has it impacted our lives? This is a bit of a vulnerable thing, but for me as an actor, I did an interview and I kind of shared about this, but I think I had just insecurities about who I was in the world of, for example, Hollywood and where I would fit into a project, and would see myself as a support lead or you know, the best friend or something. But something that you have emphasized from the beginning, as well as obviously the rest of the devs, is that none of the cast members nor the characters have more importance than the other. Everybody is on the same level, and we're all a part of this together equally. And that really changed the way I thought about myself. And so as much as we have had, you know, people are like, oh, you've impacted our lives. And as much as we're aware of that and we're told that every day, what it's actually done something for me internally as well. And it completely changed the way I saw myself professionally and as well as personally in, you know, in
Don't know why my internet's being slow.
And so diversity isn't just important for the people playing it, but it's also done something for me and for the number of people that have come up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, like, you know, you're a woman, I'm small in stature, and you sound and look young, and you're a person of color, and all of that, and yet you have such a strong hero character that you're playing in this game, and that means so much to me, and now I see myself in that light too." And that, I think, has been something that personally has impacted me, and in that way, I think, you know, it's not just been for everybody else, but for all of us as well.
But we're all like that. I mean, as a group of actors, we're all just a bunch of misfits. And we were looking for a place where we did
Our
fit.
tribe.
And for some reason, all of us, you know, the roles called to each of us. For some reason, these roles went, it's like, I've been waiting for you, you know, and 76, and McCree, and Echo.
That was your fault.
Yeah. and it's that kind of thing. It's, you know, for me, being on stage so long, but being a character guy or being an understudy, because they're like, you do a lot of stuff, so we don't get it. So you'll always be in the back. You'll be part of a cast, but not part of a cast. So now to have this, where we're all accepted, and we truly can look at each other's work and go, that is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, sitting, watching your animated short at the Blizzard campus. And just knowing that I always cry. I got to share that with you before anybody. Yeah, I do.
I know.
These things that we have connection where all these wonderful misfits, which is Overwatch in a lot of ways, the game, it's like they came together to do good.
Yes, and each character, like you said, is a standalone thing. Each movie is its own standalone film. When I first saw the Bastion movie, I was just like, this film exists as just a film. If you didn't know anything about Overwatch, or you didn't know anything, and each film kind of functions like that. And what's great about having a game is that you play your character, and then someone at a con will say, I main you. You know, like someone that's not any like you at all. He was my thing, man. That's my stuff. You know, and it's like, you know, and it'd be like, you know, I mean, it's really, it's astounding. And again, the platforms that you get to, for me, for Soldier, I'm humbled, you know. It was the military. So many military people would come up and connect, and I'm saying, but you're doing this for real.
Yes.
You're thank you. Don't thank me. This is something that now I feel like more responsible for that. And then, are you kidding? You know, now he's gay. Oh, great.
But not just for shock, for real. Like for real.
And I'm glad I didn't know that. Because what's great is
we
it
didn't play that.
matter.
Didn't matter.
And I mean, he'll never find, you know, to find love for him is a whole other, you know, story. But it was just, so now that is something that's available and open to people. And how great
I love it.
that platform can be.
It's great.
You know, to say, look, you know.
It's wonderful. I love that you said wonderful misfits. I think we should hashtag wonderful misfits. I'm thinking, you know, you guys at home know that I make T-shirts and pins for the fans.
Don't make another button that I have to throw.
And more buttons, coffee mugs, coffee mugs. Wonderful misfits. I'm going to steal that. That's who we are. Yeah, we found our tribe of wonderful misfits. That's why we're here. Well, I want to get to the fun stuff, guys. So, you know, I really, BlizzCon team, can you please give me 8 hours next year, wherever you're at? I think we need
Can I do one quick shout out?
Sorry?
One sec. Just closing the display just for a second.
We are the voices of these characters, but we are one part of the collaboration that makes this story happen. You know, we are one of the, you know, sometimes if we're lucky enough, early stages, sometimes later stages, but behind each of us,
sorry about that.
And the directors you see out here at BlizzCon, you see there are hundreds of people that are artists, animators, riggers, writers, assistants, so many people that come together to make each of these characters come to life, to make the story come to life.
Shout out to them.
And that's what this year is a celebration of everybody
All of
brings
us.
together. So thank you to all the wonderful developers who work so hard to make these games come true. And give us the opportunity to be a part of it.
Yeah, because it's not just one character.
Right.
You have a writer, an animator, a programmer, gamer,
It's a
designer,
village.
a director.
It's a village.
A person who's picked you for the part, you know, to audition.
Well, you did pay me, but I mean, we don't talk about that.
I'm trying to send you some pins.
Right, exactly. Well, cool. So I really do. It's so hard timing. If you guys, it's so hard for me with timing on these panels because I could just talk like this all day. But Jeff and I and the Overwatch team decided we want to really mix it up this year and be ridiculous. So picture we're all in our pajamas right now, which we are going to do pajama party next BlizzCon. And we're going to be silly and do it. Shoes off. And we want to be ridiculous and have our wonderful actors reading characters. So Jeff, how are you ready? We're going to be silly together. all of us. And so everybody's got their cue cards. We are going to, first of all, we're going to just be silly. And the team thought it'd be fun if our characters read some lines from the game. But then we're going to also read some balanced tweets and
Oh boy.
some mean tweets. Because you know what? We read what you write. So, Jeff, anything you want to say about balanced tweets or mean tweets? You ready for this?
Good luck.
All right. Who wants to start us off?
Which
Read
media would you like to start?
Let's do some character lines and then read the balanced lines and then the mean tweets or whatever. Your choice.
Okay. All right.
Character lines first. That'll get us.
Character lines. This is one of my favorites. Adaptive circuits engaged. Personality synchronization 100%. Good to be back. Oh. She's so chirpy.
She's so lovely.
She loves life.
Yes.
Is this a non-relevant conversation?
I say that all the time. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Would you like another helping?
I love it.
Let's see. Nothing to worry about unless there's something to worry about, as Dr. Liao always said.
I love it.
And so optimal.
Great. All right, let's see what they think of. What should we do? Should we all character first and then balance, then mean? Let's do all character. Let's do all character first. Okay, so we said good.
We got a few here. The classic, the nightmare-inducing. It's high noon. Justice ain't gonna dispense itself. One of my favorite ones that I still have as one of my classic quotes in the game. I'm your huckleberry. After you. The other one that I have on my my setup for quotes. You done? Always useful in the game. And a really way to just get your team moving fast. Don't sass me is another one that's good. Another one of my favorites. I hear you, pumpkin. And the drawn out. I'm not good, not bad, but I sure as hell ain't ugly.
I love that you lift your legs during that. You totally
I am an awkward, tight nerd, and like the physicality of him is so different than me that you have to slip into it.
Your body in session, your body changes. I watch you slip into McCree. Absolutely, I love it. All right, Diva, what you got, girl?
So I'm gonna start with my alt. Nerf this. And there are some other lines here, but I actually really like the ones that are interactive.
Do it. What, do you remember some? Go for it.
I think your clock's off. Hey, Daddy-O. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I love that she also has lines in Korean.
Yeah.
She's the Korean character. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 안녕. Is this easy mode? 게임을 하면 이겨야지, which is I play to win.
I love it.
I get the feeling you're not taking me seriously. The best things in life come in small packages. And the last one, I'm gonna own all those noobs.
Yes, girl. Yes. Yes. All right, Fred, what you got?
I'll see if I can make a relevant conversation. Well, there's always, I've got you in my sights. It's something not listed. I'm not a young man anymore. Or the one I feel lately, they keep knocking me down, but I keep getting back. We're all soldiers now. That's sir to you. Sit down. Shut up and heal, damn it. I'm a man on a mission. Stay out of my way. You don't want to go to war with me. Young punks, get off my lawn.
Yeah.
To write that in many different
So good, so good. So good, all right.
Okay, let me look. There's nothing on the paper. You wrote that. Oh, wait. This is reading that I cannot read at all. But
you printed it upside down.
Hammer down. Oh, there it is. Justice will be done. Precision German engineering.
And the one we made up on the spot that way.
Honor, justice, Reinhard. Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield. And I'll cross a leg like McCree. You're on my naughty list, Cowboy McCree boy.
Oh, that's not one of the lines.
It is now, right?
It should
Jeff?
be.
It is now.
Making me blush over here.
I love it.
It's your blood.
All right, so let's go with
Oh
you.
my god, it is so
Pick a
funny.
balanced tweet or two and mean tweets because we want to do something after this.
A balanced tweet. For the love of Pete's Dragon. My thoughts on Reinhardt experimental mode changes. And then there's a lot of letters that spell Leroy Jenkins.
Now read it as Reinhardt.
Yeah, read it as Reinhardt.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
As much as I love Reinhardt, it is absolutely infuriating to play as him. His mechanics are so messed up, and he's not even worth playing. The only thing he's good for is his shield, and even that is easy to get rid of. Source, this. That's one of those.
Yeah. Great. All right. Fred,
I just
we'll do
know-
the mean. We're gonna do mean tweets as well. So let's do that last.
These are balanced tweets,
Balanced
whatever the hell that means. It's just nice you can be an old guy. It's kind of great. Let's see. Burst damage. Burst damage is king, and Soldier doesn't do enough of it. All right, I'll take that. Soldier 76 is bad, but also Soldier 76 is OP and needs nerfs. Well, to quote my dear friend, nerf this. The hell's a nerf you want? Rival or microshots? Jack of all trades, but master of none. If these recall changes to live, I might go back to being a legs main. Oh, sorry, not live. If these recall changes go live, I might go back to being a legs main. I screwed that up. I don't understand why people play Soldier 76. He is such trash and very overpowered. I'll take that. Soldier 76 is the most unskilled and overpowered character in Overwatch. You got that right. Holy beep, he is so annoying. Respect the chef.
All right.
I love you anyway.
Diva is often played like a shotgun version of Torbjorn's turret with the verticality of an earthworm. Oh, okay. A message to support players, please do not queue tank in comp if you can only play Diva. It's basically soft throwing. Okay. Shouldn't Diva be able to eat Baptiste's immortality field? Playing Diva is like trying to win a race with a horse when other people have a sports car. And the last one, Baby Diva is too tanky.
So I love it.
Is that like skanky?
Thank you very much.
Skanky. I don't think they meant
Thank you.
Is too skanky.
I love it.
That
I love
outfit
it.
is quite tanky.
Yeah.
Who's got
Thanks
the
a
Earth
lot.
Shatter? Do one of you have the Earth Shatter on your card?
I think that was me.
I love that's my favorite one. Shatty.
When a Reinhardt gets a powerful Earth Shatter, it must be called Fatty Shatty from now on.
Fatty Shatty.
Fatty Shatty is pretty great.
Why?
Because it's fun and
Does
it's
it
alliteration.
rhyme? Is that all we do now?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right. What's your
Friends again.
Oh man, all right. McCree, more like McNeeds more nerves. You have a tracer? Oh, McCree can flashbang headshotter. They have a Hammond too? McCree has flashbang. Far Mercy too? McCree's job as well. But does he get a shield as protection, an off-tank to peel for him, or pocketed by a support when he tries to deal with them? Hell no. Oh, and why is the shield not breaking, McCree? There's a lot of complaining. As someone who put 30 hours into McCree, I hate McCree. 250 HP, thick Cree. Oh, Lord, he coming. And, well, this is a good question. Maybe you can answer here, Jeff. Why does Blizzard hate McCree so much? Send tweet.
Like you said, send tweet. Why does Blizzard hate McCree? I love these. These are the best.
These are great.
All right, let's hear what you got.
All right. Echo can die very easily to most hit scans, considering her gigantic head.
Oh, okay.
Theory. Echo is not the real Echo, but a Talon copy, infiltrating Overwatch operations, which explains the damage focus kit. Echo doesn't need to be nerfed because she's already a glass cannon.
Right.
Compliment? That feels like a compliment.
Yeah.
I think that's a compliment. For the love of God, get Echo balanced. Holy Overwatch.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point, exclamation point, yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So main tweets are my favorite. They're really fun. So let's go back around. These are great.
Okay. I'm going to say a bad word.
It's okay. We're going to beep you out, maybe.
Maybe. I hate how Echo from Overwatch has a face.
so sorry.
Apologize. We'll scrub that.
Yes.
God, I dislike so much of Echo's design. Her generic bland, comforting face, her generic bland, obedient AI voice, her pointless hourglass torso. There's just absolutely no unique character to her, which for Overwatch is weird. Every part of her is just sexy, boring lady robot.
I bet some people could maybe think what to do with the sexy lady.
I'm okay with that.
I just still have to remark on that the fact that sexy and boring were in the same. I think that's a wonderful comment.
You know, I love an oxymoron.
Hey, you're really beautiful.
You're really sexy.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'd love to play chess with you. You're
I'd
so
love that.
sexy.
Let's play chess all night.
You'd probably win, though.
I don't know, checkmate. I think wow.
Queen's Gambit?
Well,
Are you
Yeah,
the Queen's Gambit?
I am.
Okay, that's good. I don't
You'll
like
move.
the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move because you're sexy and boring at the same time.
I
just
know.
a-
All right, let's do that.
I love it that was together.
Oh boy. I hate that I can hear it perfectly in a stupid, cocky McCree voice like goo goo gaga hey. And, oh boy. I want to learn to play McCree because my friend and I love/hate his voice and I can be a My apologies.
All right, Diva.
I love Diva, even though she trash.
Pretty nice.
All right, I know, friend.
This is, again, mean maybe, but it's all real.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. Does anyone else listen to Soldier 76's voice line, quit messing around and get ready to move, and feel like he's on the verge of saying, quit around, like some tired dad trying to wrangle up his teens in the toy aisle because he hasn't gotten his afternoon nap in? That's what I was going for. That's exactly right. So, success. Good on you. Agreed, though. I understand.
I love it. All right, Darren.
Get her closer. Hello, I'm a mean tweeter, and I will say the following. I hate Reinhardt's voice. He sounds like a drunken German pirate. Yo ho ho, more like yo ho no.
I wrote that. That's how you send a mean tweet. At the yo ho no. Queen's Gambit ya.
Well played, sir.
Oh my God. All right.
German pirate.
Yes.
Pirate. I'm a beetle and a drunken German.
I love it. Jeff, did you
My
catch all
official
those?
Liverpool accent.
I love it. Jeff, what do you think about all of those?
Yeah,
Balanced
that's
tweets, the mean tweets are great. I love it all. Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
it's amazing. You know, I keep thinking about like how much our community loves Overwatch, and then I hear those, and I'm like, oh.
You're gonna do all these fixes in the next bout.
Yeah, we're
right?
gonna fix it all. We're gonna
Yeah,
fix it
fix
all.
that. Yeah.
So we have very little time left because we run out of time always, but we're going to do a quick couple rounds of improv.
Oh, geez.
We just want to be nuts. So in this jar, I have improv ideas from our team that are ridiculous. I'm going to just grab
Oh,
them
boy.
and we'll do just quick little improv sketches, kind of like TV shows do, and just have fun. So I'm going to pull a topic up. Whoever wants to jump up, it can be, we're going to stay in our seats to be safe. It can be, it doesn't have to be two of you, it can be whoever wants to do it. How about that? So as character, and we'll just have fun and see what happens. Sound good? All right,
Sure.
here we go. It's going to be
But
wonderful.
Jeff, create a biotic field for COVID, please.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what we need.
I love it. All right, let's do. Okay, here we go. And you could all just pretend it's a scene. You could all riff on this one. If Overwatch has been rebooted into a 1920s detective drama.
Oh,
you've
boy.
You've all arrived at a crime scene, right? There's like a chalk drawing on the floor. Someone, and you're all detectives in the 1920s.
The leggy robot with the face walked in. Oh, she had legs from here to tomorrow. She looked down at the body and she said the classiest line that this private detective has ever heard.
This body looks like an absolute pile of caca poo poo. What on earth could it be? Is it human or is it AI?
In came suspect number one. He was a cowboy. He had a swagger like nobody's business. He went up to the sexy leggy robot. He looked down and said,
Don't mean to be brash, but did I just hear you say cuckoo papa? Or was that poo poo caca?
I believe it was poo poo caca, and it's French.
I didn't believe her. I'd been to France once when I was 4 years old.
Didn't see any poo-poo caca while I was there. However, as I stared into the distance, eyes narrowed, I heard footsteps from behind.
In burst the victim's wife. She was very upset, and she had a giant mecha with her.
Oh my god. Wait, why am I British all of a sudden?
Whatever you want to do.
It wasn't me.
Because it was not her. And the greatest detective mind knows is because as I used my hammer as a cigar, I turned to the real culprit who always had the victim in his sights. It was Soldier 67, the evil soldier from an alternate dimension.
That's right. I was tired of that 76 guy, so I had to kill him. I killed him dead right there. But then... I'm powering up. Look, I'm not a young man anymore. Where's 67? Took care of that crap.
That is when the world's greatest private eye was shot by the villain 67. I fell onto the chalk drawing in the exact same position of the body. And our story came to an end because I'm a ghost!
My aim wasn't as good, sorry.
Oh my god. We could do this all day. Oh my god. I didn't know that. I love the French that you speak. That was very impressive.
Thank you.
Oh my god. So good. So good.
Not bad for the person with a
I
face.
love it. Okay.
Merci.
Now all of these characters show up in Target to buy toilet paper, and there's one roll left.
Ooh, okay.
After you.
Well, no, please. You may. I understand.
I'm just going to take the last one for a friend because I don't actually need it.
No,
you don't.
No.
Pardon me, ma'am. I don't mean to intrude here, but like you said, you seem to eat pretty clean, being a robot and all. You I don't know how much prune juice you're putting through that system right there, but
It's pretty distilled. It's pretty distilled.
I drink a lot of real terrible coffee, and I'm in mighty need of whatever that roll's given.
Might I recommend it for my buddy over here? He might need it pretty badly. Has a lot of sauerkraut in his diet.
Charging power activated!
I suggest you clear out.
Might I suggest one thing? Since I have a certain capability that the rest of you don't. Duplicating toilet paper!
Wow.
That's good.
Where that months ago when this was harder to find.
I hadn't been announced to the world, but here I am now, and
Fair enough.
hopefully...
You had to sign an NDA.
I did. I had to sign an NDA, so...
Couldn't just go into any Target and buy a toilet paper. Yeah.
Free TP for
Payload
everyone.
has landed.
Well played. Well played. Okay, let me see. We just got a couple minutes left. Some of these are my total favorite. Okay, choose two. Awkwardly asking the other to prom in high school as younger versions of yourself. Anybody? Who wants to ask Diva out?
Younger versions of ourselves.
Yes.
Younger, as our characters?
Yes.
Okay.
I am a modern woman, and so I'd like to ask somebody out.
Okay.
McCree, I know that I always say that your clock's off, but I think your clock is quite on. And so I was just wondering, would you like to go to prom with me?
Well, that's mighty fine offer you put there. I'm blushing. I would say yes under one condition.
Okay, what is that?
Are you against the idea of a group date?
Oh,
Being a modern man.
and me being a modern woman, sure. Who else would join us?
My friend Reinhardt. It's been a fine year hanging out with you, and I wonder if you do the honor of coming to prom with me.
Oh.
And my date.
I would very much like to go to the prom with you and also to with the diva. And then,
It seems that my voice is changing. I'm an adult all of a sudden. Oh no!
Hey, Wilhelm, I thought we were gonna do something, but I guess not. That's okay. If you got your friends, that's fine, I guess. But
You can come with us.
really,
It's better when we're a team. when we're all together, and there's no one that knows that better than my friend Echo.
All right. Yes.
If I may,
Robot lady.
robot girl.
Girl, sorry.
If I may, I'm still learning and don't really know what prom is. But if it's okay, could I just come along and watch?
That's what prom is. It's where all the friends get together and they watch each other have a good time and they support.
Yes. Oh, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yes.
I may have to ask you on the dance floor a couple of times.
Oh.
Can you do the robot?
I think
A little
it's
bit?
actually part of my main directive is to
Yeah, that
dance.
seems great.
I
like
know
your
no
pocket.
other way but to dance like a robot.
Perfect.
You're about the right age now to be a proper chaperone.
Excellent. I shall sit in the corner and provide safety and comfort as I do the robot with you.
I love you guys. Let's just clap for us. So pretend all of our fans
That
are
was-
here. Oh, wait,
That was far better than my actual prom.
I love it.
Right?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I feel like these panelists, like all of you, they're just over in a second. So we're technically out of time. I want to go over because first I want to thank all of you for doing that. Putting you on the spot and doing improv on camera is can be hard. It's so fun to just play and be like we're kids together having a slumber party. Before we go, the most important thing that I wanted to do is kind of switching gears. That was really fun and silly and ridiculous, but it's to give words of support and love to our fan base. You know, we'll probably see them in a year from now at our next BlizzCon. But what words can we send to them right now to tell them that they're loved and we're all going to be okay? So, whoever wants to go first. I don't know. Let's go around.
First,
Please.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, and of course, Andrea, for inviting us to be able to get together today. I haven't seen humans, in a year, and so this is really surreal, but just has been so lovely. And I just wanted to say to the fans, one of our taglines is the world could always use more heroes. And even if you don't feel like one right now, I just pray that there will be somebody in your life that you feel is a hero to you. And if you do have the energy to spread that love and positivity to those around you, what we have, I think, is hope. We have hope and we have strength. And as long as we can do it together in a community and stay positive, we're going to be able to get through the hardest of times. And so thank you for being a part of our lives. And we hope that in everything that we do as the actors and as the characters, we will be able to also be a positive light to you as well. So much love and thank you.
Yes, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Who else?
Just echo every the wonderful things that you said. Times like this really help clarify the important things, and really few things are important more than community. You know, culturally it's easy for people to be raised with the idea of the individual over the community, and I think more now than ever it's showing how important it is that we all help each other out, that we rally behind each other and remind each other that we're there for each other. What bit of joy we're able to bring to your lives, please know that you bring an endless amount back to ours, and every member of this community is part of a family in some way. Don't be afraid to ask your fellow man if you need a little help or even just a shoulder to lean on. And don't be afraid to lend that shoulder, lend what help you can if you can. And if you can't, spread the word to find somebody else who might be able to. You know, we only have each other at the end of the day to rely upon. So thank you for your wonderful support, and thank you for tuning into this wonderful delight today.
Well said. Well said.
I've lost people during this. And, it's been hard, but there's a quote that says, "It will be all right in the end." And if it's not all right, it's not the end. So keep going. So keep going.
Love
and
you.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Love you
I
too.
don't want to miss the opportunity to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love you, Darren.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Fred, Jeannie?
Continuing from that, love is everything. To quote the Beatles, love is all you need. All you need is love. And to remember that this community is built from that, you know. So much of that love comes to the surface, and let's continue to share that. Let's continue to reach out, and just like everyone else has been saying, you know, if you're able to lend a shoulder or an ear or eyes, if a message comes through, take the time to acknowledge your fellow human and to know that we're all the same. You know, something that I like to say a lot is all is one and one is all. We're all made of the same stuff. And if we can just strip down to that very core of ourselves and to know that that's what's in each and every single one of us, to know that we're all connected in that way, and to connect in a way that is just pure and full of kindness and love and understanding, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this with that sentiment. And from a personal perspective, I've never felt so much love from a community of people who I would have said were strangers 8-9 months ago, but none of you are strangers to me. And I hope that I'm able to share more of my life with you so that I'm not a stranger to you. And I just want to thank you for bringing this world to me. And we're going to get through it. Let's not give up. Let's keep going. And I love you all. And I'm so grateful for all of you here on this panel. I'm so grateful to all of Overwatch and Blizzard. Getting a bit emotional here, but just thank you. Just thank you. So much gratitude to all of you and for all of it. So.
And I'm going to reiterate and just say thank you. We are all connected. We're many different folks, and but we are all so connected. Strip it down and just, you know, to do the quote, to be that change that you want to, you know, see. Just start on any level and reach out to each other, and I just know that you are all so beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful as you are. And we love you so much. And just hang in there. We didn't start this virus, but we'll damn well finish it. And you know, hang in there and keep creating, keep making joy, and just live with love as much as you can.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jeff, any parting words from you and the Overwatch team?
I mean, everyone said so much of how I feel already. I guess I'll add that BlizzCon is always this moment for the Blizzard community to come together, developers, fans, players, and everyone just enjoys each other's company and connecting and all that kind of stuff. We will get through this, and I look forward, and I think I can speak for most of Blizzard that everybody looks forward to being able to be with you again in the future.
Beautifully said, Jeff. I'll close the panel. I want to just, first of all, say thank you, all of my amazing, to call you actor doesn't come close to it. I feel like you're all amazing humans, and I just love you, and I'm so grateful that you braved the wild fires that are out there to join us here today to shoot this. That's no easy thing. That was a decision each of you had to make. And thank you to the fans for tuning in. I want to say again, the voiceover panel started as a tiny little thing at BlizzCon years ago in the corner, like a little circus freak show. And now we're here in this set because of you, because of the love you give us and how close you hold us in your heart. So without you, we wouldn't even be here. Thank you for tuning in. Find us on our social media handles. Tell us you love us. We'll tell you we love you. You're not alone. We're always just a tweet or a text or something away. Take care of yourself, guys. Be healthy, be happy. We're gonna be okay, and we're gonna make it through, I promise you. We love you.
I honestly don't even understand what this next segment is of the stream. Guess we'll find out. I don't really.
Dolby is a proud partner of BlizzCon Line. Watch Shock vs. the World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Dolby Access app. Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon Line.
Probably the most exciting thing about what I get to do at Blizzard is I wake up every day and I get to make video games. How cool is that? My name is Anna Rosenberg, and I am an associate software engineer at Blizzard. What I do is mostly behind the scenes, and what that is it's essentially making tools for other engineers to create a more streamlined and robust process for our build systems, and tools for people to essentially make the best work they can in the most efficient possible manner. I came to Blizzard Irvine initially through an internship. I've always loved video games. I knew I wanted to work in them, but I had no idea how. And I remember when I was probably 13, 14 years old, and I saw on our career site that there were internships, and I was like, wow, it'd be so cool to work there someday. When I was an intern and I was working on the Blizzcon.com team, they told me that my internship project was going to be moving the Blizzcon watch experience into the Battle.net client. My mouth just dropped. I was so excited, and I couldn't believe that I was going to work on something that millions and millions of people got to see. Blizzard is actually very good about internal mobility opportunities. I started out doing web development full-time on our Battle.net team, and after a year or so, I was thinking to myself, like, there's so many other forms of engineering that I want to explore and look into that I don't think that I want to stay in this track for the rest of my career. So I started looking at our internal mobility program, and I wanted a wider breadth of technologies to work with, and I wanted to work more directly with people as well. And I found this in one of our internal mobility posts. I reached out to the hiring manager, and we got coffee, sat down.
Technically hasn't started yet. I don't know what
what
the last thing is.
and what my day-to-day would look like, and I was like, that sounds awesome. I want to do
I don't know
that.
what it means by
And
school
so I
work.
went through another interview process and landed in a new automation role where I currently work. I feel supported by my leadership team. They listen, which I think is the most important part, because nobody's perfect, and I think that also plays into the core value of learn and grow. My manager checks in with me. We have one-on-ones every single week where, you know, I feel comfortable asking questions, and if I ever wanted to do something else or I had curiosity in another subject, I often will go to him with, hey, there's this cool new technology that I want to work with, or something that I just haven't used before, and he's like, cool, let's make it happen, and he puts it on the schedule and he sets me up for success. I think that Blizzard has a lot of opportunities to get involved in the community and culture and really making the game industry a better place. And not just the industry, but for our players and our communities as well. I'm a part of one of our diversity and inclusion efforts, the Differing Abilities Council, where we focus on accessibility and working with people with seen and unseen disabilities and creating a welcoming culture for people who have these disabilities. I definitely think working at Blizzard has been the right move for me. Being able to work with the people.
Oh, I didn't even
being able
read
to
the
work on something
description.
you love,
It's
being able to
soundtrack
make a
stuff.
difference as well in the community, I think is so important. I love working here. It's really cool. And
Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. The music is it's cool and all, but it's like not really that important. So I think I'm gonna end it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you later.